the Grizzlies that got us one of the photos of the season here. LeBron James, Luka Doncic. This is the play right here, Ramona.
I mean, get ready for all of this.
The photo, the moment, does it remind you of anything, Danny?
Yeah, that's a cold picture, but not as cold as the other one.
Well, which one are you talking about?
Of course, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James.
The airplane, right? Dwayne Wade leaves the pass for LeBron. It created one of the most iconic photos.
15 years ago.
Side by side, LeBron James still able to throw it down, and then the cold stare there from Luka Doncic.
So crazy. He's still doing it 15 years later.
They weren't looking for the photo, though. They were looking for the win. Here, LeBron James with the dunk.
First round matchup, 4-5 in the West, probably.
And then about a minute later here, Doncic hits a little mid-range, gets that one to go. But it was really the work of their big three in this one. A few minutes later, Austin Reeves with the floater in the lane. The Lakers, they go on to win this one, 134-127. And shout out to Abigail Keenan Field here, who took this photo, because the socials, they came alive with just compilations of LeBron and Luka's dunk against the Grizzlies. Is that certain LeBron and Dwayne Wade moment back from 2010. An excellent photo here by Abigail, and I love to see the way that everybody reacts.
Bravo.
Let's break down these two plays with a little pick-em. I know that you said, Danny, that the earlier one was better, but let's just take a little bit of a deeper look. Legs, let's just narrow it down to the pass. Which pass was better? Was it Wade's or was it Doncic's?
Yeah, I agree with Danny. The photo was better, but I think Luka's pass, I don't know. I like this one a little bit better. Look, Dwayne Wade, nice little drop-off. Not too much to that. The Luka with the flip back and knowing the time he was going down the court, he knew exactly where LeBron was for about 50 feet there before he dropped that ball off to him. So I'm a little bit preferable to the Luka pass.
All right, if it was a Luka pass, which LeBron dunk was better, Danny?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. 15 years ago, he was jumping a little bit higher. So I'm going to go with LeBron from 2010. Obviously, Luka's pass was probably a little better. The photo, both of them, really good photos.
All right.
LeBron, with his face at the rim, still 40, doing some good stuff at 40. But it's a little different airtime on this one.
All right, so then, Ramona, you get the style question. Which one had more pizzazz for the poster? Heat 2010 or the Lakers 2025?
You gotta go with Dwayne Wade and the airplane arms. Come on now. Like, to have the presence of mind to sail off with that airplane pose.
But I just have so much respect for these photographers, man. Like, I cannot. My photos, everything's like in between. So to be able to capture that moment is awesome. The Lakers, though, they're not just looking for photo ops. They are looking for wins right now and to stay out of the play-in. So tonight, the Lakers, they host the Rockets. Tim Legler, this is going to be really interesting. Can they protect the glass? That is what I am watching. What have you seen specifically from the Lakers offense as of late here, Legs?
Well, I just think the chemistry, once again, between Luka and LeBron, I think that's really what this is all about. The playmaking of Luka Doncic, the way they've handed over the offense to him, I think is what's special. We talk about that pass, but look, what goes into that. Luka Doncic, from the time he gets the outlet pass right here, he knows exactly where LeBron is. So now, get into the lane, take those two guys with him, clear out the path. LeBron trailing the entire way. I think LeBron taking advantage of open court opportunities with Luka. I love this one because he freezes Zach Edey, because if Edey steps up, there's a lob to Jackson Hayes. Luka stops, lets that defender recover. He knows he's trying to get back into the play, lets a little flyby happen and shoots the mid-range jumper. So I just think they're so dynamic in their ability to take over games and dominate one-on-one matchups as a scorer, but also what they can do to create if they get multiple guys and draw that traffic. It's special, and I think that the best is yet to come for these two the rest of this season.
The Lakers, they have 8 games left, Legs, 4 against teams that they look up at here in the Western standings, and they're still very much in that fight, Danny, to be able to stay out of the play-in. They're getting the Rockets on the second night of a back-to-back. How can they take advantage?
Well, I think they need to trend in the same, they have to win games, obviously. They don't want, the Clippers are playing really well, Minnesota's playing well, all the teams behind them, they don't want them to catch them. So for me, it's more defensively. Offensively, they've been great, explosive, Austin Reeves, LeBron, and Luka. But defensively, they better figure it out to find a way to get back to the way they were playing before LeBron got hurt in order to be ready for the playoffs. Because right now, they weren't doing that the last 10 games or so.
Well, I think do we count this as the second night of a back-to-back when they beat the Suns as bad as they did last night?
Well, they were out on the floor racking up minutes, Ramona. We will see. How about that? That game is coming up tonight. NFL Live is coming up next. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for spending some of your afternoon with us. Phoenix, where the season has been turbulent, but the play of Kevin Durant, Danny Green, it had been a bright spot. That's what made last night such a bummer here. Kevin Durant and the Suns taking on Jalen Green and the Houston Rockets. Danny, we're going to pick this one up early in the first quarter. Durant knocks down a little mid-range jumper.
Doing what he does.
Suns trail 32-24 at the end of the first quarter. And then here, Alperen Şengün drives to the rim.
Oh, bully ball.
Little guy. Get out my way, little guy.
The bank shot to fall, Ramona. The defense here from the Phoenix Suns, it was lacking, and that's putting it kindly.
Has been all year.
Let's take one more look at this.
Great pass by Fred.
Baby Jokic getting that one to go here. Wild play by the Rockets. And then here, Kevin Durant, Dillon Brooks. They get a little tangled up. Durant doesn't like the play, shoves Brooks here. Brooks begins to chat a little bit. The referee gives him a technical and then another one, resulting in an ejection here from the game. This is Brooks' 7th career ejection. Despite this, the Rockets are rolling 78-49 at the half. So to the third we go. This is the unfortunate play here. Durant drives in the paint, falls to the ground, holding his left ankle, and then just unable to get up immediately right after. He stepped on Jabari Smith Jr.'s foot, it looks like, which is what caused the ankle to turn. He exits, clearly limping, doesn't return. And then Jalen Green was sensational here for the Houston Rockets. Gets the 3 to go there. The Rockets rolling up big.
You seeing the score?
A minute later.
Game is.
I mean, it was ugly before KD went down. So.
Yep. Easy dunk, drives to the rim. Green had a game-high 33 points. The Rockets go on to win 148-109. But, of course, Kevin Durant is the story of this game. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, joining us now. Shams, Coach Mike Budenholzer, he said that Kevin Durant is not traveling with the team to start their upcoming 3-game road trip. What more can you tell us about the amount of time that KD could be missing here?
Malika, sources tell me Kevin Durant is expected to be out at least through this next week, so he's going to miss this upcoming 3-game road trip. It's just going to be about how his ankle responds to day-to-day treatment. He's going to stay back in Phoenix. This is the 3rd time, though, Malika, that Kevin Durant has injured that left ankle over 2 years as a Phoenix Sun, and the Suns are now 1.5 games out of the play-in tournament slot. They have the hardest remaining schedule over the next 7 games in the NBA. They're in a world of trouble when it comes to the play-in tournament and their chances here to really compete. We know Kevin Durant loves to play basketball, loves to play, but this was a nasty looking sprain. He's dealt with ankle injuries this year. I'm told he's also had shoulder issues, a thumb as well. We'll see if he'll be able to make it back before April 13th in Sacramento.
He is fighting through so much, it sounds like here, Shams. The Suns are 2-11 when Kevin Durant does not suit up for them this year. Shams, thank you so very much for stopping by NBA Today. Phoenix, they're now 2 back of the Mavs and the Kings in the loss column for that final 2 play-in spots before embarking on this 3-game road trip that Shams mentioned. And you can see it here, Milwaukee, Boston, and New York. And if you're thinking, whew, I mean, this looks harder than passing an AP exam, you're right. Phoenix does close out the league's toughest remaining schedule, and all of that means the Suns have just a 22% chance to reach the play-in tournament. That's according to ESPN Analytics. So back here with Ramona Shelburne, Danny Green, and joining us is Tim Legler as well. Right now, this is part of what makes this such a bummer, Tim. KD is short of that 65-game minimum to qualify for All-NBA honors. He's actually even short of needing at least 3 more games to be considered. Despite the Suns' struggles, he's been a bright spot. Legs, can you just contextualize his season for us here?
Not just this season, Malika. I think you need to look at this guy's career. And I think sometimes, when guys are this great for this long, you become a little bit desensitized to how good it is every night. To put it in perspective, he's accomplishing this year, he's tacking on to that 12 straight seasons over 50%. So it'll be 13 straight years at the end of this season. You want to put that in context? Take a look at 2 of the most efficient scorers we've seen on the perimeter in NBA history. When you look at Michael Jordan and Kawhi Leonard, they're 2 guys that come to mind. Michael Jordan and Kawhi Leonard combined shot over 50% from the field in a given season, fewer times than Kevin Durant has currently done it consecutively. They only did it 10 times between the 2 of them. Durant's on a streak of 13. He does it so effortlessly and easily. And I know he would trade in all NBA to be on a contender. I'm certain of that. It's the one bright thing left for the Suns is Kevin Durant potentially to make it, because I think their play-in chances are cooked with this injury. But I do think, look, Kevin Durant has been as good as he's been over the last 5-6 years this season, and he's pushing 40. It'll be here before you know it. Still getting it done at such a high level. I do think we need to acknowledge it sometimes. This string he has been on of efficiency and scoring at a high level, it's incredible.
I'm with you, Legs. He's pushing 40 is a little crazy. He's like, 36? He still's got some time. But these injuries...
For an older guy like me, Danny, that means pushing 40.
See, there you go.
I'm with you. But I said, Kevin Durant, he's been great for so long, but these injuries are only showing that he has very little window. And this might be the last time we see him in a Suns uniform. With these injuries, they got to take it game at a time. With their record without him being out for this next week, I don't see them making the play. You're behind Dallas, who is barely have enough players to play games. They're almost forfeiting games.
Right.
This is not a good, sign, and it's an embarrassing loss. Even before Kevin Durant went down, it was 92-57. It was pretty bad. So unless Bradley Beal comes back, obviously take it game at a time. But this summer they're looking at probably an overhaul of shipping out everybody.
I mean, can we talk about though what he has gone through this season? Yeah. I mean, he's doing all this right now, Malik, after they tried to trade him at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
That didn't tell him, he found out sort of through back channels that they had just trade discussions about him. And rather than get upset and throw a tantrum, he's gotten better. He's been exceptionally professional. He had them in this play-in tournament race here. And I think it's really unfortunate because they obviously are going to revisit those trade conversations because this team isn't good enough. And probably the only way they can get better is to look to move him and get something in return.
And so we hear Danny saying that he thinks that this is the last time that we're seeing KD in a Suns uniform. Shams is saying that the hope is potentially that he could try to come back, but at least it's going to be a week here. From your reporting, Ramona, are teams already sort of starting to hover? Which teams would those be?
Look, I think, you had some of the initial conversations at the deadline. I mean, Kevin's representative, Rich Kleiman, started having initial conversations with teams that he might want to go to after he found out that there was conversations involving the Golden State Warriors and him going back to Golden State. And so I think they'll look to work with Kevin and his representative on conversations already with the Miami Heat. They already had conversations with the Warriors. I think those were cut off and probably won't be revisited. But look for teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Houston Rockets, whom they just played, even the New York Knicks, we say, which we have had conversations with in the past before. And let's see how the playoffs end up. Because Kevin Durant, as Tim talked about, as Danny talked about, is still a fantastic player.
Absolutely. And we've saw that, which is what makes this such a bummer. And I do hope for KD's sake that we're able to see him come back and meet that minimum number of games because he absolutely deserves All-NBA. You mentioned Minnesota, the playoff intensity that was lacking in Phoenix, not an issue between the Timberwolves and Pistons last night. We had a little brawl for it all. Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. Remember, Cade Cunningham has been sidelined. Ron Holland, adios. JB Bickerstaff.
Beef Stew's in it.
We're sorry. We're sorry, Pablo. We had to delineate coach just so we're all on the same page.
Used to be a player,
But that little kid that we saw in the quarter, don't worry. A-Rod coming in to save the day here. Giving him a Reed jersey.
That was kind of uncomfortable and scary.
You know what? The slam. Randall, 26 points, 8 rebounds. Here's Anthony Edwards after the game.
I mean, we're going to fight. Let's fight then. I mean, they out, we out. It's time to fight. We can't throw punches. Let's throw punches on the court, within the game. So that's how me and Julius took it.
These two teams, they're not backing down from anyone, and they want to make some noise in the playoffs. There's 2 rules of Fight Club. 1, you don't talk about Fight Club. 2, we then talk about it on NBA Today. So, Legs, did last night tell you something about these two teams?
Well, look, it's not shocking that something like this would happen between two teams that I think pride themselves on the defensive end of the floor. Let's start there. So the physical part of this moment, and look, I think if this had stayed contained to the court, I'm not sure there are going to be suspensions because no punches were thrown. But the fact that it spilled into the first row and you're laying in fans' laps, it becomes a dangerous situation for fans to be sitting there, taking that on, sitting in the first couple of rows. You even had one fan trying to play peacemaker, and he got his arm shoved away. You now have a serious situation that could potentially escalate. So I think there will be suspensions at the end of the day. But I think this is two teams fighting for different things, certainly, but two teams that absolutely want you to know you're going to feel us on the defensive end. When you put teams like that on the court, a spark can start anything. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love the competitive nature of it. Obviously, it went a little bit overextended. It shouldn't have been into the stands. But this is the type of, I would like to see more of the old school type of play where guys don't get ejected. They can get technicals, but, playing with some competitive edge.
You're going to talk about old school, and you see Beef Stew pointing to the Detroit. This Detroit team is physical. Yeah. And Chris Finch had a quote afterwards saying, like, this was coming. This game had gotten physical. They play physical. We play physical. It kind of gotten out of hand, and you felt it coming. Because you watch that play, you don't see why Naz Reid is so upset. But if you watch the whole game, there was a lot that went.
That was some old school fighting.
Yeah.
And we had an old school rivalry also in the NBA. Steph and CP3 last night in San Antonio. They met up for the 57th time, including the playoffs here.
Playoff series.
Right? The two of them going head to head. And on today's date, some historical significance between the two of them. Remember this? This was 10 years ago to the day exactly.
Yeah.
Our producers chose violence this morning.
Yeah.
Curry dropping
God.
CP3.
CP's not happy with that one.
Nasty.
City highlights with no love.
Behind the back crossover. Why are we picking on Chris Paul, though? He's a friend of the show. Well, because Steph Curry picked on the San Antonio Spurs last night, potentially. Hits a wing three there. Dancing. Pulls from deep. Warriors are just already running away
By the way,
with it.
that's 63 points in the second quarter or 73. Oh, my God.
How do you say it, Perk? Moses Moody hits the three on the right wing there. And then a few possessions later, Jimmy Butler joining the party.
It's going to be a long night if Jimmy's here.
Yeah, it is.
He had some big face right before. Later on, Draymond Green. When Draymond is joining the party, oh no.
I mean, somebody guard him.
Oh no. Now it's
out
over. Pajemski. He says, I'm going to have one too. Golden State would make 21 threes as a team. By the way, that starting lineup, 11-0 for Golden State.
Wow.
Steph Curry loves it.
The largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless. Here we go. Dylan Harper. The buzzer. Hating on me just because I'm the biggest. The largest. The biggest. The largest. Dylan Harper's extraordinary.
Oh, we're so happy to have Rutgers standout guard Dylan Harper joining us in studio. Dylan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you here in studio with us, especially because I understand you have a very exciting announcement to share with us. What you got?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you to my mom who's in the building, sister, agent, and just all my family, just coaches, trainers, just people who's been there for me since day one and just always believed in me and trusted in me. And with that being said, I'll be declaring for the 2025 NBA draft.
Oh, incredible. Congratulations, Dylan. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That is so incredibly exciting, and I love that your family is here clapping, cheering you on the way that they have through this entire process. Let's talk about your time at Rutgers a little bit as you take this next step into the NBA. You're named to the Big Ten All-Freshman team. You were All-Third team as well. For our audience that's getting familiar with your game, what type of player are they going to see in the NBA?
I mean, really just a winner, first off, a winner. Just will do anything, help his team win, playmaker, score, the defend, just all the little things I think a coach would want. I think I have everything.
Absolutely. And when you're putting together your player recipe here and you're looking maybe at NBA players that you've emulated over the years, a sprinkle of this player, a dash of this player, who would you compare yourself to?
I would say probably 3 players.
Okay.
Cade Cunningham, James Harden, and Shea Alexander, just because they're big guards like me, 6'6", 6'7", and they know how to control the game, get to their spots, and just ultimately win. Yeah,
they really control sort of the tempo, the pace of the game, and their teams sort of revolve around them and their play as well. There was a great story that I saw that you have a special moment that you had with Kobe Bryant and your brother, who also played. We're going to talk more about that in a second. What was the advice that you were able to receive, even if it wasn't meant for you, to receive from Kobe?
It was more for him. I was kind of just at the fly on the wall. But
right.
He told my brother, just keep shooting the ball. We can worry about passing later.
And did you take that advice?
I mean, a little bit.
You know what?
I mean, it's
got to be
one of the greatest players of all time.
When Kobe Bryant says it, you have to at least take a little bit of that advice, right? Exactly. Because I can tell that you are a selfless player as well, but you also just have to make sure when it's your moment, you take on that Mamba mentality. We mentioned your brother a little bit. You come from quite the basketball family, an NBA background, but then your brother also played at Rutgers. Your mother, who's here, played collegiately, was one of your high school coaches. What did that do for you, being surrounded by all of that basketball?
I mean, it kind of did everything for me because just being little, I was able to grow up and watch my brother, my mom, my dad in the gym, early mornings, late night, everything. So it just honestly taught me how to work and how to grind. And they just always instilled in my head, like, if you want to get to the position that you want to get to, you just have to always work.
This is an incredibly deep draft here, Dylan, and your teammate, Ace Bailey, also projected as a top pick in this year's draft. What would it mean to you to not only be selected, but be selected alongside your teammate?
I mean, it means everything. I watched him grow up. I've known him since, like, sophomore year. You know, it's never a dull moment with him. Just all the times we have been in the gym, even after the season, like, he's here right now. We always get in the gym, work out with each other. So it would just be a blessing, amazing just to know all the hard work he put in, just see him and his family happy.
You guys rib each other a little bit, some bragging rights over who's going to go first, or is it just like, you know what, as long as we're both there.
That's what I say, you know what, as long as we're both next to each other, table next to table, that's all that matters.
See, I love the smile. I could see it that came across your face as soon as we started talking about him. You've been around the game since you were young, but for people maybe who are getting to know you a little bit more, fashion is a part of everything that you do as well. Can you give us a hint? I know it's going to be a surprise, but what are we rocking on draft night?
I mean, I think I'm going to rock the classy style. I mean, it got to be something all black. I think that's something I like to do, all black. I mean, a little bit of, I don't know, maybe red, blue, something, but it's going to be black.
It's sleek, it's chic, and it says, I am here and ready for business. Thank you so much for stopping by NBA Today. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you in June. It's one of the best nights of the year, and we look forward to sharing that moment with you.
Thank you, guys.
Sticking in the college ranks, the men's Final Four is set. I picked it exactly. With projected #1 overall pick, Cooper Flagg leading the way for Duke. Danny Green, I know it pains you to join me on this highlight. Please, Cooper Flagg going to work inside for the layup.
No, he's special, but I needed Alabama to have a shooting night like they had the other night, and they didn't. They failed me.
Cooper Flagg did not fail anyone's expectations here, though. The layup plus the foul. Another look just at the strong finish. 9-point lead at the half for Duke.
NBA ready, man.
This is when Danny started to struggle to watch. Second half.
Oh, my God.
Con Knipple gets that one to go. Duke led.
See him on draft day, too.
Yeah, he led the Duke with 21 points in this one. And then Flagg with a little floater over Mark Sears there.
They're playing really good basketball. I'll give them that.
Was that hard for you to say?
That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, we'll say this. Flagg finished with 16 points.
Tar heel. This is why it's
9 rebounds.
They can't keep getting away with this.
Duke is moving on to the Final Four here. We can all agree on Cooper Flagg, though, right, Danny?
Yes,
he now seeks to become the 6th player in the last 25 seasons to reach the Final Four and be picked #1 overall in the NBA draft in the same year. If he does it, he would join Paolo Banchero, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Derrick Rose, and Greg Oden.
Look at that mean mug from Karl.
He's going to be back soon, but OG, Ogugwa, he's the one that's stepping up. Can't wait to see him continue that. He can give them 30 off the bench or still starting. He's a guy that can give them 30 points when they need it. So I love what he's doing. I love what Mikal Bridges is doing. So I'm excited to see how this team shakes up in the playoffs.
They will need Jalen Brunson back to make a legit run. By the way, a quick happy birthday.
Yeah.
Birthday to Walt Clyde Frazier.
Still best
happening over this weekend. And the Cavaliers, they did something that hasn't been done since LeBron was on the team in 2010. They won their 60th game of the season. Ramona, what feels different about this Donovan Mitchell-led group?
That man right there, Evan Mobley. I mean, I think when you look at the way his game has transformed this year, you got to give Kenny Atkinson a lot of credit for how he re-envisioned his role in that offense. You know, you have two bigs, and they make it work now because they understand he's like Chris Bosh. He's got guard skills as a big man. He can score from the perimeter and shoot the ball. Really unlocked him.
Well, the Hawks, they've now won 8 of 12 to move on to the 7th seed in the East, just 4 back of the reeling Bucks. They beat last night for the final spot, trying to avoid the play-in here. Giannis Antetokounmpo hosting Trae Young and Atlanta. So we're going to pick this up, Danny, early in the first quarter. Trae Young steals the ball. We did a segment with him once. It's insane. We did a segment with him once where we had him guess, was this supposed to be a pass or a lob? Half of them he couldn't guess because going into that step, it looks so similar. Great one there, though. Second quarter here. Atlanta trailing by 2. Trae Young hits a step-back 3.
Quick release.
Playing pickup basketball out there.
Another one a few possessions later here. They call him the Great Barrier Thief for a reason. Risa Shea had a really great game here.
Young fella with a career night. Right, 36.
Hawks take the lead.
#1 pick.
Going into halftime here. The third quarter, Trae Young again. Atlanta leading by 10 at this point. Finds Risa Shea for the wide open three-pointer there. And then once again, Trae Young to Risa Shea. Amazing alley-oop. Risa Shea, yes, he did have a career night, the 36 points. Young had 19 and 19. Trae celebrating the huge win for the Hawks over the Bucks. They get the win 145-124. And at this time of year, you have to just always continue to take a look at the standings. The Atlanta Hawks right there, the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference.
That guard, 6'1" from Oklahoma, number 11, Ice.
Trae to midcourt to win it. Atlanta wins the game.
Get out of here. My daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in chorus. I'm heartless.
Behind the back.
Because I'm the biggest, the largest.
hope these New York fans find their way to the exit real quick.
Atlanta Hawks All-Star Trae Young is joining us now. Trae, you had a huge performance on the floor last night, but I understand you may even have a bigger announcement here to share with us. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, appreciate you, Malika, and thank you for having me on. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to announce that I'm accepting a role with OU basketball and being an assistant GM, as well as making a $1 million donation to help kickstart this whole thing.
Wow.
And, so it's exciting to be a part of this, and being from Norman and playing there, obviously, it's exciting times, and I'm looking forward to being in this new role.
This is pretty incredible. $1 million donation and taking on the role of assistant general manager here at your alma mater. And this is coming, Trae, just weeks after Steph Curry became the first active player in major United States professional sports to take an administrative job at a college. So you're joining a very, very small and exclusive fraternity here. What made this the right time to get involved?
Well, I think obviously today the game has changed, and with NIL and college basketball, the way it's changed, I think it's a perfect time for guys to be more involved with the schools that make them who they were, or help just kind of push them to be who they were. And I know for someone like Steph and me, I mean, we represent our schools off the court and in the locker rooms and talk trash all the time. So now to be able to even represent even more, it's going to be even more special.
Absolutely. I'm envisioning you going to shoot around in the morning and then needing to be like, I got an administrative conference call that I have to take in the afternoon, sort of having a hand in all of these different things and learning how to balance it all and multitask. But I'm sure also, Trae, your play on the floor is something that draws people to you and then inherently draws folks to OU in this new role. So can we talk a little bit about that? Because you dropped 19 and 19 last night, a big win over the Bucks. I'm hoping we can take a look at one of those 19 assists. It may be one of the most special alley-oops we've had of the season. You and Zachary Risachet here. Can you walk us through this play?
Yeah. I mean, this is something that, playing with Zach this year, we've gotten to really learn each other, and he knows when we're in transition, he just has to run, and I'm gonna find him, and he's so athletic and skilled and smart. If I just get it anywhere close to the rim, he gonna catch it and finish it. So that was a great finish by him.
And you've talked about him as being a rookie of the year type of player, that he should be getting a little bit more acknowledgement for a role like that. That was maybe the best assist on the floor that you had, Trae, but my personal favorite was one you had right after the game where you said you needed to make sure that you got 20. Can you just take us through this moment?
Oh yeah, no, this is cool. I seen this fan, he was holding up a sign like it was his birthday, right by our bench, right behind the basket, and he was yelling the whole game. So, and his mom and his dad right there were doing the same. So it was cool. I was glad I was able to do that for him. He wanted me to sign his hat, but I just gave him the jersey instead. So it was cool, and that's what you do it for as a player.
Yeah, I feel like as much as signing a hat is cool, making sure you get the jersey maybe is even a little bit more special. And this is, I think, Trae, what's going to make you so great in this new role that you're taking on. It's the player you are, but it's the person that you are too, and getting to see that at a collegiate level, I think, is going to be so special for these players. Hey, Trae, before we let you go, I just got one more for you. There's a lot of noise around the Eastern playoff picture, but how dangerous do you think these Hawks can be, your team can be, if you all are healthy and clicking the way that you are right now?
The sky's the limit for us. We gotta be ready to play. For me, I don't really want to focus on that. I've been focusing on day to day with this team all season. That's why it's kind of hard for me to really answer that question, because it's really been a day to day and getting better. And Quinn has done a great job of just focusing on getting better, and focusing on preaching that to each and everybody. And you can see that with guys like Dyson Daniels playing like a defensive player of the year type of player, which he should get. Zachary Risachet obviously doing rookie of the year type of things, which he should get too. And everybody just playing and contributing and getting better each and every day has been the main focus for us. And when the postseason's here, we'll worry about that when it comes.
I've seen this team make some incredibly special runs when they were underestimated, and I really appreciate you taking the time here, Trey. Congratulations again on your new role, the assistant general manager here with Oklahoma. We really look forward to seeing you on the floor, and we look forward to seeing you in that new position.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Malika.
You, because Paige would shoot it and then some in the fourth there. Here she hits the deep three, so start racking up 24 there. Beckers, another deep three. Yes, sir, up to 33 points now. And then about a minute later, Beckers, watch her here, uses the screen, hits another three, now at 36 points. And she says, come on, you know I'm feeling it now. Less than a minute later, Beckers sneaks back door here for the layup up to 38. She wasn't done, Momo. They forgot about Beckers right here on the inside.
Oh, come on.
Easy layup. A 40-point night for Beckers, the most in a tournament game in UConn history. The Huskies, they roll 82-59. And now we welcome in my good sis, Chiney Ogwumike. Chiney, there's no one I'd rather talk about women's hoops with, but I need you to come back. We miss you out here in Los Angeles.
I miss you too.
We miss you so very much, but let's talk about Paige. She tied a career high and a Storzy book ending here, follows it up with a 40-piece. She's already won National Player of the Year, but it doesn't feel like hyperbole to say that this is the best basketball that she's playing of her career, is it?
It's not hyperbole. It's straight up a fact. If you think about Paige Becker, she has been the biggest problem in this tournament. And you're right. She's playing her best version of basketball at the moment that it matters most. And what I love about Paige is that she's a three-level scorer. She can get to the basket. She is tough with the mid-range. I don't know why they were not guarding her for three. They should have guarded her right when she crossed half court. But what I love about this UConn squad is they're intelligent. They don't beat themselves. And Paige is the most efficient player that we have seen in a long time in the college game, having a 50-40, virtually 90 season as a guard, which is extremely tough. So Paige, you know, she's going to be a big problem for USC, but USC can counter with their own star tonight in Kiki Iriafen. Kiki is a tremendous player at the post position. She typically averages 18 and 9, but what I love is that you're starting to see her mid-range. People have compared her to Asia Wilson, and I feel like it's accepted because they share each other on social media. And we all know in that tough game when Juju Watkins went down, she stepped up in the biggest way. 34 points, the most points ever by a USC player in the tournament. So they will need a star to show up for USC alongside those freshmen that you see right there. Avery Howell, Kennedy Smith, both dropping 18 and 19 points. So if they play up to expectations, this game will be closer than people expect.
Yeah, that's what I think that USC, UConn, of course, ever since Juju goes down, this is the game that everyone had penciled in. But just because there is no Juju, do not turn the page. Kiki Iriafen could be someone that we really could see blossom in this one. The other game, Chiney, tonight, it features TCU against Texas. Who you got in this one?
Look, it's the battle of my state, Malika. This one's hard. It's hard because I love both teams. TCU coming from open tryouts to now their first ever Elite Eight. Texas, come on, man. That was the first place that I went to when I was being recruited, and I'm in love with Maddie Booker and her game. But I'm going to give the edge to TCU. There's something about Haley Van Lith, the way she has carried herself the last few years and had this redemption arc. Last game, 26 points, 18 in the second half. While Texas has Maddie Booker, who is amazing, it's a strength-on-strength matchup, Texas's defense versus TCU's offense. And right now, I feel like bucket getters have the advantage. I mean, Paige showed us.
Right, exactly. All right, I know it took you a second to make this decision, so I'm going to give everybody a little bit of background before I make you make the big decision. All right, Chiney, does that sound good? The winner of tonight's UConn-USC game will face UCLA, who eliminated LSU on Sunday. So UCLA was the overall #1 coming into the tournament. It has shown, right, outscoring their opponents by 19 points a game in the tournament, led, of course, by Lauren Betts, who's averaging 23 points, 9 rebounds, almost 5 blocks per game through the Sweet 16, one of Chiney Ogwumike's favorite players to watch. On the other side of the bracket, though, South Carolina defeated Duke in a close one. This one was 54-50. The Gamecocks, they were led by Chloe Kitts, 14 points, as South Carolina outscored Duke 16-8 in the fourth quarter and advanced to face the winner of tonight's Texas-TCU game, which you can catch on ESPN at 7 o'clock Eastern. All right, sis. That's all the time I can give you.
Okay. I'm gonna make a take.
We know our Final Four, but who is your favorite to win the title?
Let the record reflect that I had TCU in my original bracket. You saw me make it, Malika, to the Final Four.
Yes.
I think that UConn is right now the favorite. They are playing basketball that is nearly impeccable. It's not just Paige. Sarah Strong is the best freshman in the country. You've got AZ Fudd, friend of the show that we all love, that is just knocking it down from three. She's a sniper. So they're a three-headed monster that is playing their best basketball right now. So my new favorite is UConn. And I know we've seen South Carolina. They have depth. It's awesome, but they're not playing their best. So that's why UConn has the edge.
Yeah, I picked South Carolina with some assistance from my good sis, Chiney Ogwumike, going into all this. But it does start to feel like this is...
Wait, Malika, you should not listen to me. You see my record on who said that.
I know.
Like,
I'm the worst. You know what, though, Chiney? I ride with you. And if you're saying UConn, then now I'm saying UConn. We will know, though, the women's Final Four tonight. Chiney Ogwumike, thank you, as always, for stopping by NBA Today.
Again, just another straight drive. 4 to go. Jokic, the heave, and counted it. Go!
That was Friday night. Jokic continued to add to an absolutely unreal resume, Tim Legler, of ridiculous plays. This is
Makes the absurd look mundane, man. It's a long list that just keeps on growing.
Look at my man in the back there. I'm going to need to start learning how to say absurd in Serbian because I'm running out of ways to say he's insane in English. So let's take out a top of the top brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. This is all Nikola Jokic absurdity, top precision. Just a few months ago, the heave from 70 feet against the Kings. What?
Just a regular Tuesday.
That ain't nothing regular about that.
At this point, I'm more shocked when he doesn't make it.
The inbound from 66 feet in 2023.
Come on.
Yeah, you better be aware on defense. Anytime he's getting ready to get that out of bounds.
He's a water polo player. That's what he is.
Jamal Murray in 2019.
Should have been a quarterback. Could have been a quarterback.
We have a whole separate category, Tim Legler, for the no-look cook. 2017, he finds Wilson Chandler.
Yeah. Sorry, man. That one there reminded me of my guy, Larry Bird. I'm sorry. That's very Bird-like.
Then in Miami earlier this season, dumping it off to Aaron Gordon. Oh,
goodness.
Did you ever have anyone throw you a pass like that, Legs?
I'm sure, but it's been so long, unfortunately, Malika, it's hard to remember.
This is the best pass of the year. That one right there.
Insane.
Show it in slow motion and you see Magic Johnson right there.
AG said, you have to
finish
those sorts of passes, right? And then we have a specific category of what he does to the Los Angeles Lakers here. Bubble Jokic.
Man.
That is not a travel. It looks like a travel, and it is not. Watch it again.
No, it's just the Sombor slump.
Oh my God, his footwork is amazing.
I was a part of that team, so I got to watch it.
Oh, sorry, Danny.
To beat the buzzer in 2023.
Luckily, I wasn't a part of this team.
Look at AD's closeout.
Should we check in on one more to see if you're?
At one point, I felt like AD's closeout was helping him make shots.
Yeah.
This one.
Here it is again. Sorry, AD.
Every contest is making him make
Danny's
shots.
just saying, thank goodness I wasn't on the floor.
That high release, that Larry Bird shot over his head.
We do have an excellent ESPN Wednesday doubleheader for you. Donovan Mitchell in the Eastern Conference leading Cavs hosting the New York Knicks. SGA and the Thunder against the Detroit Pistons. Hopefully Kate Cunningham's back for that one. NBA Countdown gets you started. So the Lakers